It's Gretchen, and I was not expecting to do this video. So I still have the day 11 Have a Cheerleader up, uh, but that's not what this one is going to be about. This was just on my heart, and I'm going to share it with you. This does not have to do with finding your purpose. This is just off the cuff. The Lord is speaking to me, and I want to share it with you all. Okay. So, as we know, I think the divorce rate is, I think like 15 years ago, it was 50%. Now it's 70%. And it's just very alarming because I think that divorce, more than anything, hurts the children that are involved. And I'm saying this because I am a divorcee. So there's no judgment if you're divorced, because I am too. So, but yes, I am divorced, and it's really important if you have children at home or even that aren't home when you go through a divorce that you find them a therapist. I know I had to do that for my children. My older one was a little bit more stubborn about it, but she's finally going. And but to find a therapist for your child where they can go and talk, because a lot of times they feel in the middle, even if you try to keep them from feeling that way. A lot of times they do, and so that's really important because a wise friend, once said, like, divorce doesn't really hurt the parents; it hurts the kids, and that is true, or at least that's what has been true in my situation. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about why divorce is happening a little bit more. And like I said, I'm no expert. I don't know. This is going to sound crazy to you probably, and that's okay. This is just the way that I feel. And so I know that there are probably 1,000 reasons if you're in a marriage and it fails, what you could say it was. It's very complicated. It's a web of things, I know. And so I just wanted to share a couple things that I kind of think is the foundation of why divorce is happening so much. So it's just like in the Bible, you want to build your house. You don't want to build your house on sand because the foundation is going to fall. And I think a huge part of what's happening now is why divorce is happening, how our society has changed. And I thought about this a while back. This isn't something new. But I thought about a while back how when I was growing up, my dad would say, oh, and also this video is a little bit different. So if you've got young ears around, you probably don't want them to hear, because this is a little bit more of a mature video. So if there are little kids around you or anybody that's under 18, I'll put that on that video that under 18 can't watch. But then this probably is not content that you want them to hear. So when I was growing up, my dad always told me to not call boys. He taught me many things. He taught me that if you date a football player and not just a football player, okay, I'm not picking on football players. Don't get up, any football players in here, don't get upset with me now. I'm just talking about a team. Let's say, and a football team is probably the largest team in school. So once I got into high school, he was like, of course, don't sleep with somebody on the football team, because then they'll tell all the other players what you did, and then that's all, they won't want to be your boyfriend. Then the football team will just look at you for sleeping around with. And that was wonderful advice. And I think it's true. I think there's a lot of truth to that you kind of set the tone for what kind of person you are and how you want people to treat you and respect you. Okay. So I remember, my dad, other than saying that, also saying, you don't call a boy, you don't ask a boy out, you don't go pick a boy up, you don't da 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 da. And I followed I mean, I believed what he said. I didn't really question that. I don't remember questioning it. And of course, we didn't have cell phones. We had the phone with the big long cord where you would try to see how far you could get the cord to go so that you could talk to your friend in the other room. But anyway, so it was easy. It was easier back then to not talk to people, but that was a big thing. And I didn't stay on the phone long with a boy. He had all these rules, that oh my God, his biggest one was boys don't cuss in front of girls. Isn't that crazy these days? Well, I still believe it. My dad said if a man will cuss in front of a female, then that was a deal breaker for him. That shows you that they're going to be disrespectful. If they're showing disrespect in that way, then it's probably it's kind of like a precursor of what's to come. And so, and like I said, this might be this. You might not agree with this at all, but I'm just sharing kind of what I have gathered and observed through my 49 years of life. So back to the, you don't go pick a boy up, the boy drives, the boy holds the door for you, you don't call the boy calls you, all of those things. Well, I got to thinking about that, and I think that women being raised like that a long time ago, I think there's a lot of truth to that, because really, I think men deep down are hunters. And for the men on here, you would know more than I would, because I'm a girl and I don't have that internal hunting mechanism in me. But I think men are hunters. So I think by our parents teaching us that, we learned that the man is the hunter and the girl is the deer, right? And the man is supposed to pursue us. And so there shouldn't be any chasing on our end as a female. We shouldn't be calling anybody. Once you're married, that's different, or once you've got a strong relationship. But initially, you should be pursued. And if you're not being pursued, then, that's going to tell you how much effort is going to come from that relationship. So, that's number one. I think a lot of, or not the number one reason, but that's a number one reason I think why divorce is happening, is because when there is not a pursuit, then women start to chase. And I think that sets a bad dynamic, a bad tone for a relationship. Okay, so the other reason, if y'all thought I was crazy for saying that, y'all are going to really think it now. Okay? I also know a big thing when I was growing up was abstinence and waiting until after you were married to have sex as a wife and a husband, okay? And I also know that the most valuable thing that a female has to give a man is that, okay? And so it's a very valuable thing, is giving yourself to another person as a female. So, if that's the most valuable thing that you have, you kind of have to save that for, after marriage. And obviously I'm divorced, so obviously I'm learning this later in life. But I think a lot of reason why divorces are failing are because so many people are having sex before marriage. And, I've been out, I went through a lot of different stages when I went through my divorce. And so I finally got here once I got healed, and once I started spending as much time with God as I could. And what I'm hearing from him is that if you want something to last, then it's got to be sex after marriage. Okay? Some people might say, well, at 49 you're mature. That's not true, right? It's about maturity, or it's about this, or it's about that. I think it's divine. I think it's a covenant from God. And I think if you honor it, then he will bless it. And I think if you don't honor it, then it's going to be not blessed. And I'm sure if, I'm sure there's research done on it, but it sounds like people that have sex before marriage do not have as good intimacy in their marriage as people that wait. There has been truth to that people that wait and have it after marriage have better sex lives than people who do it before they're married. And there's a lot of factors that go into that too. But I can tell you that if I do ever, pursue marriage again, or I shouldn't say pursue marriage, but if I ever do get married again, number one, the person's going to have to pursue me. Okay, I'm going to look at their energy. And if their energy is that they can't pursue, then that probably tells me how much energy there's going to be throughout the relationship. If they can't give you energy at the beginning and pursuing at the beginning, then imagine what it's going to be like in 2 years. They're probably not even going to be alive. No, I'm just kidding. So, and then I'm also going to try this go around is to be celibate until I'm married. And that's the only way I can see if it's for real or not, is that, because I feel like that's what the Lord's telling me, is that if you honor that and you wait until after you're married, that it's divine and it is blessed. Now, I can also tell you that it makes men drop like flies. As soon as you say that, they gone. But you know what? That's fine. If someone doesn't agree with that, or someone's not that okay with that, then they weren't the person for me anyway. And if I stay single the rest of my life because I want a fulfilling relationship and I can't find it, I'm okay with that. But I just want, and a lot of people my age, we're already married. We've already been through this, right? But if you're raising children, I've already started telling my children this. I've already started telling, like, my daughter, she's had little friends that she's talked to, and I'm like, you shouldn't be calling him. You should be texting him. You need to be the one that's getting off the phone, right? If he wants to talk 20 minutes and you talk 15, like, you're constantly making that thing of chasing and hunting, and that's what makes it exciting, and that's what makes it real. Okay? And I am also telling them that, I'm preaching abstinence, and they probably not going to listen, but I'm trying. And so that's why I'm sharing this, is because if our world could go back to this mindset of letting the man pursue and having sex after marriage, I think that we would see the divorce rates go down. I really do. And so that's just, like I said, I think it's divine. I think it's the way that we're designed, the way that God made us, more so than us, our maturity levels and what we want to do. I think it's more about what he wants us to do and what he blesses and what he doesn't bless. And so I just hope that was helpful. It was just on my heart to say it, and I hope it spoke to someone. And I hope that you're having a great day. And remember to stir up some love, but not too much love. Just a little bit of love. No, I'm just kidding. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right. See you soon. Bye-bye.